Yeah, let's just get started here. First of all, the Cleveland situation, losing Clase is a killer because they're not going to be able to trade him. That may mean they may trade their other reliever, Cade Smith, in a potential deal. Second one is it's a Philadelphia Phillies story that just kind of really exploded within the last 2 hours. Rob Manfred making his visits to different clubhouses to explain his idea on the future of economics in baseball got cursed at by Bryce Harper. Harper stood up in the middle of the meeting and said, if you're going to use the word salary cap, you can get the F out of here right now.
Wow.
And it got really heated because Manfred stood up to Bryce Harper and said, I'm not leaving this clubhouse. I'm going to explain to all these players the economics of the game and how a restructure in revenue sharing and how different allocations, he'd never used the word salary cap, different allocations of the money of players would work. Nick Castellanos, the outfielder, is the one that came between Harper, who, by the way, is a Scott Boras client, came between Harper and the commissioner to kind of cool things down. So that was a really stunning incident in the Phillies clubhouse. Harper doesn't want to talk about the incident that happened with Rob Manfred. Manfred does not want to talk about it. But Manfred, I was told, Manfred stood up to him. He was not going to take any crap in front of all the other players, and he was going to explain his theory about that. Third topic, New York Yankees. They made 2 deals to get infielders. They're playing wretched defense. Yankees committed 10 errors in 5 games in their infield. Never seen anything like it. This is the major leagues. Yankees had 52 errors in the first 102 games of the season, playing just miserable defense. Anyhow, they went out and they traded for Colorado third baseman Ryan McMahon. They gave up 2 minor league pitchers to get him. McMahon can play third. McMahon can play first. He's still got years left on his contract. And they also went out and got a pretty good glove guy. Played for the Mets, played for Cleveland, played in Tampa, Ahmad Rosario. Oh. Not a bad defensive player, multi-position guy. The Yankees are just an absolute mess defensively. New York Mets, pitching short. Now, their injured starters are coming back, but they're short in the bullpen. They traded a couple minor leaguers to get left-handed setup guy Greg Soto, former all-star pitcher from the Baltimore Orioles, who are kind in fire sale mode. Athletics. It's not getting a lot of conversation, but this is quite an accomplishment. Nick Kurtz, rookie outfielder, playing for the Athletics, hits 4 home runs in 1 game, 19 total bases. He went 6 for 6 at home plate. This guy's a rookie. I think he's got 23 home runs this season. It was an amazing story there. The picture of Rob Manfred, there's a lot of controversy about a story that broke at the end of the week. It kind of got lost because of the Manfred conversation with Bryce Harper. Manfred has enlisted the help of retired players who are siding with the commissioner's office on the future of the finances. Evidently, the commissioner has been meeting privately, and he has brought on board, he's calling them his ambassadors, CC Sabathia, Prince Fielder, Ryan Howard, John Smoltz, Gary Sheffield, his ambassadors of the commissioner's office. And he's going to have those guys go around and meet with the players in the clubhouse to explain the creative aspect of a salary cap, how they can make it work so the players get more money in baseball, how it's working in the NFL, how it's working in the NBA. The union and Tony Clark is aghast that these legendary stars of the game are siding with the commissioner over the sales pitch about what the new collective bargaining agreement should look like. So you got that. Tampa Bay Rays. St. Petersburg has terminated the agreement the Rays had made with the past owner to build a $1.6 billion stadium. They say new ownership has come in, this Jacksonville consortium. We'll be glad to sit, but we're going to start from absolute square one. Going to have to renegotiate a whole new structure economically for this business entertainment district that would also house a new stadium for the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, the Rays are going to go back into the Suncoast Dome for 2 more years once the new roof was put on post-hurricanes. But we're back to square one in terms of no stadium right now. New owners are going to have to negotiate that. And the last one, Cincinnati. This is cool. I don't know what you're doing Saturday night, but you should be with the Rednecks and the good old boys. Cincinnati Reds are going to play the Atlanta Braves at Bristol Speedway in Tennessee. An all-time record, 85,000 tickets have been sold. I just saw a picture of the layout of the baseball stadium on the infield of this big super speedway track.
Awesome.
It's got a real different look.
When's that game?
Saturday night. It's going to be on TV.
Awesome.
It's a little bit like, you'll remember this, when the Dodgers and Angels first went to the Coliseum in Los Angeles. I mean, it looks really weird.
Oh, so do they have to have a big net in some places on this?
Yes, and they put stands out, temporary stands out in the outfield, were part of the infield for the NASCAR races. It's a real different look. It will break the all-time record for baseball. The all-time record attendance for a single game in Major League Baseball was set in 1954 in the heat of the American League pennant race between my Cleveland Indians and the New York Yankees. And that was always a great rivalry, but they were the 1 and 2 teams in the American League. In Cleveland, they drew 84,753 or something like that. This one, they've already sold 85,000 tickets for this game, and they're going to wear special jerseys. It's being called the Speedway Classic.
That's a cool.
At Bristol International Speedway. So, wear your T-shirt. Go ahead. You can drink your Pabst Blue Ribbon with the team mascot we have here, Sniffer the dog, and celebrate NASCAR, good old boy, redneck baseball. Reds, Braves. It's good. It's cool.
Yeah, and that racetrack's sort of halfway in between the two cities.
Yeah, it's right on the border of Tennessee and Virginia. Bristol International Speedway. It's a smaller track, tight track, and the seats are like this. The layout, maybe you punch up a picture, Google it. It's just you say, wow, that's going to be novel. 85,000 tickets have been sold.
Yeah, and you were saying it broke the record in Cleveland, and that's probably the mistake by the lake, right?
Exactly, old municipal stadium, but that sucker was rocking when the Indians were good in the 50s.
Yeah, that's one of those stadiums, like you could fit a gazillion people in there. I remember when Qualcomm, when they expanded it to 60,000, they had some big crowds out there for Padre baseball. In fact, that's when Jake Peavy made his debut out there. But anyways, just a couple of quick comments here. The Clase thing. I saw this video clip of him throwing the ball. It only went 35 or 40 feet and he spiked it. Have you seen that video?
No.
So I'm wondering if it was kind of like the other player on the Indians, where it's just like the first pitch of the inning, is it going to be a wild pitch or something? And if that was it, I mean, this guy didn't, Clase didn't even try to sell it like an oops. It was just like, I'm spiking this and then I'm going to move on.
Well, the people that have triggered these investigations, if there are mass bets on a pitcher or a player in a certain inning, there's a volume of bets all of a sudden surface. That's a red flag. Totally. And MLB security finds out from the casinos, look at this. So if indeed something weird happened with Clase with the first pitch he threw in a relief appearance, and everybody also there was a rush to place bets before he threw that pitch. Mm-hmm. Yeah, connect the dots on that sucker.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And just a couple of comments on the Phillies and on the A's. I love that visual of Bryce Harper just getting in Rob Manfred's face. And now, granted, I would think that if you're a player, I mean, Manfred isn't exactly your boss, but he's kind of the leader of the league, and so you think there'd be a little more respect there. And I get it. I mean, whole thing, salary cap, these guys don't want to hear it. The most powerful union in all of labor in America. But I would think that the average everyday player would probably appreciate kind of seeing the breakdown of the revenue, how much money are these teams really earning? That could actually be helpful for a young player.
What do you think Tony Clark thinks right now with all of these star players going to the other side? Because he has always viewed the owners, Rob Manfred, that's the enemy.
Yeah, and I think you got to find a win-win here. It's not going to be a win-lose. And really, the financial model for baseball just keeps being revolutionized as more and more revenue keeps coming in. So, they're going to have to kind of restructure a bit as they go.
Interesting to see where it winds up. Last topic on the table.